name's Tracy from Randomness of Rudy, and today we are actually talking about Aries and Sagittarius compatibility. This is a part of my Aries Experience series, which I started on YouTube in celebration of the month of Aries. And so if you haven't seen my first video where I talk a little bit more in depth about what it's like to be in a relationship with Aries, please go back and check that out. Aries with Sagittarius is a thrilling match. Both are fire signs, both operate in a very similar fashion, and both get one another. There's this innate understanding between you. Aries and Sagittarius are probably the two signs that are the most freedom-loving, next to Aquarius, really. And so as a result, you know, there is this understanding between you, and that neither of you can be controlled, neither of you can kind of be boxed in by the other, and both of you need to be able to explore whatever that may be on your own and when you want to, okay? And hopefully this is something that eventually becomes an activity that you both do together. Aries is very inspired by Sagittarius because Sagittarius is this truth-seeking energy, and Sagittarius really enjoys philosophy, really enjoys travel, really enjoys anything foreign, and has this way of going through life asking the question why? Why behind the why? That is Sagittarius, and Sagittarius will go far and wide in order to find out the answer. And this is something that really inspires Aries and really allows Aries to get out of his or her own element, which is a big deal because Aries is usually pretty active about getting out of his or her own element on its own. And so to kind of have this additional stimulation from Sagittarius is really inspiring and really motivational for Aries. On the flip side, Sagittarius really admires Aries' romantic side, and really kind of is somewhat bewitched by Aries, you know, and it's because Sagittarius, since this is an energy that's always concerned with finding truth and traveling and doing its own thing, to meet an Aries that kind of makes Sagittarius want to be with Aries and to experience life with Aries, you know, that's new. That's new for Sagittarius. That's not something that Sagittarius is used to as far as meeting someone that, you know, makes them want to actually merge. Okay, so that's a pretty you know, exciting as well as refined and a breath of fresh air type experience for Sagittarius. As far as your arguments go, you know, two fire signs, when you argue, there's always going to be this kind of epic battle between you. Sagittarius is probably much more laid back than Aries, and so whatever fights come up, Sagittarius is pretty much going to let it roll off its back and pretend like it never happened and really kind of get on with life. Sagittarius is just too busy, you know, exploring to let certain things kind of get in their way. And Aries, as we've said throughout the series, you know, Aries gets upset and then gets over it just as quickly. So one thing I will say is that you want to be mindful of not ignoring an issue, especially if it's a repetitive one. You know, both signs want to just move on and forget about it, which is fine. But if it's a serious issue that keeps coming up, obviously it's something that needs to be addressed in a deeper fashion, and that's something that the two of you want to be mindful of. As far as sexual compatibility goes, two fire signs in a bedroom is pretty amazing. And so I don't think you have anything to worry about there. Aries is probably a bit more passionate than Sagittarius, whereas Sagittarius, interestingly enough, may be on the shy side in the bedroom. And so Sagittarius will definitely appreciate Aries' openness and Aries, you know, willingness to try new things and that type of safe approach when it comes to lovemaking. So sexual compatibility, 5 stars. And really, you know, like I said, this is a dynamic duo. You two can become brother and sister, or sisters, in your quest for life. And you may find a life mate in each other. So if you want any more information, feel free to visit randomnessofrudy.com. Until next time, good luck.